In today's report, we take a closer look at one of the most disturbing stories to emerge from the United Kingdom this week. Police are investigating whether a man accused of a violent train attack in Cambridgeshire is linked to a separate stabbing of a 14-year-old boy that took place just one day earlier on Friday. The investigation has shocked the public, left several people critically injured, and raised new questions about safety on Britain's rail network. According to police sources, the train attack took place on a service traveling between Doncaster and London when a man suddenly began attacking passengers and staff with a knife. Witnesses describe scenes of chaos and panic as travelers rushed to escape or shield one another. The train made an emergency stop at Huntingdon, where officers quickly arrested the suspect. 11 people were injured, including a train staff member who remains in serious condition. One of the victims has been identified as Jonathan Gjoshe, a footballer for Scunthorpe United. Reports confirm that Gjoshe was traveling on the train when the attack occurred. He sustained injuries but is recovering, and his club has issued a statement expressing relief that he is safe while also sending support to other victims still in hospital. The mention of a well-known athlete like Jonathan Gjoshe has drawn even more public attention to the story, putting a personal face on a tragedy that might otherwise have been reduced to statistics. Now, police are digging deeper into the suspect's background and movements in the days leading up to the attack. Investigators are examining whether he is the same person responsible for the stabbing of a 14-year-old boy in Peterborough on Friday evening. The boy, who was attacked in the city center, is expected to recover. Authorities believe that the timing and proximity of the two incidents are too close to ignore, and forensic teams are working to determine if there is a direct connection. This has led to the headline that has dominated British media over the weekend. Police investigating whether train attack suspect linked to stabbing of 14-year-old on Friday. Footage that surfaced online appears to show the suspect entering a barbershop in Peterborough a day before the train attack, brandishing a large knife and causing panic among bystanders. This chilling video has strengthened the theory that the suspect may have been on a violent spree, escalating from threats to multiple stabbings within a short time frame. Authorities have stated that, at this stage, there is no evidence of terrorism, but they are not ruling out mental health issues or personal motives. The timeline is as follows. On Friday evening, a teenager is stabbed in Peterborough. Hours later, a man wielding a knife is seen in the same area. By Saturday afternoon, a train filled with passengers becomes the scene of a horrifying mass stabbing, leaving a trail of victims and a nation in shock. The suspect was quickly subdued and taken into custody. Over the weekend, he was charged with multiple counts, including attempted murder and possession of a weapon. In the aftermath, officials have praised the quick actions of train staff and emergency services. Passengers have spoken about acts of courage, including one crew member who reportedly placed himself between the attacker and others, suffering serious injuries in the process. Police say that these actions likely prevented the tragedy from becoming even worse. For the public, the question now is how such an attack could happen in a setting as ordinary as a train journey. Many are calling for improved security checks at major stations, but officials argue that the scale of rail travel in Britain makes airport-style screening impractical. Instead, they are focusing on intelligence gathering and early intervention to prevent similar incidents. Meanwhile, the investigation continues. Detectives are analyzing CCTV footage, tracing the suspect's movements, and interviewing witnesses from both the train and the earlier incidents. The aim is to understand whether the stabbing of the 14-year-old boy, the barbershop incident, and the train attack are connected as part of a single chain of violence. Jonathan Gjoshe's recovery and public statement have also offered a message of resilience. He thanked the medical staff who treated him and the passengers who helped one another during the chaos. His words, describing how people came together in fear but acted with courage, have resonated deeply with the public. As the case develops, it highlights not only the immediate tragedy of the victims, but also the broader issue of knife crime in the UK. The phrase police investigating whether train attack suspect linked to stabbing a 14-year-old on Friday is more than a headline. It represents a search for understanding in a moment of senseless violence. It speaks to a pattern of behavior that authorities are desperate to stop before more innocent people are hurt. This story reminds us that behind every shocking news alert, there are real lives, real families, and real consequences. For Jonathan Gjoshe, the other passengers, and the teenage victim, the hope now is for healing and for justice to be served. The investigation is ongoing, and police have promised to release more details as they piece together what happened across those terrifying 48 hours. Until then, this remains one of the most disturbing and closely watched cases in recent memory. A train journey turned into a nightmare. A young footballer wounded, a child attacked, and an entire country asking how such violence could unfold in so short a time. Police are still investigating whether the train attack suspect is linked to the stabbing of the 14-year-old on Friday, and the answers they uncover may shape how Britain addresses knife crime and public safety for years to come.